enter the game.
Yes, that would be very helpful, Squish.
Yes.
Otherwise you're just walking in circles.
Don't you judge my pastimes.
Yes, Jeremiah, don't rush the talent.
There we are. Okay. So then, now that everything seems to be up and running, we should be past the ads. Dungeon Master Seph, would you like to tell us a story?
Last week, our party basically made their way from Stormpoint City up into the Maiden's Grounds, the hunting grounds of the gods. And I'm afraid that our dear kitty lad, Storm, had a little bit of an upset when the Green Wrath took him over. Fortunately, or rather unfortunately, a friendly local druid decided to help him, and the party soon realised that this was indeed the ancient green dragon named Logragvir.
Gesundheit.
Who helped Storm deal with his little problem before leaving the party, uncertain as to what to do, only letting them know which direction to travel to find the orcish village. We continue with our party in the middle of the Maiden's Grounds.
You're not going to be running off to find more dinosaurs to hunt, are you, Storm?
No, I won't. Not when I'm with you. I've got to get you guys through the Maiden's Grounds more than anything. But I can't deny, there's still something in the air and something in the trees and upon the ground. It still moves through me. I hear the beating of the drums that call me to the hunt. But they're not deafening now. That's the main thing.
Yeah, deafening drums are a bit of a problem. You can't hear your own common sense.
Yeah. Storm looks around at all the Triceratops that were brutally slain, as particularly the one he was working on. You know, hacking its head off as a trophy. Yes, I kind of went a little overboard.
Yeah, to be honest, you reminded me a lot of my fellow barbarians. When we get into a rage, some of us work the same way.
You won't find me denying it. That was all me there. I liked it. But yes, I've definitely taken leave of my senses.
Yeah, some of us just turn into, well, little more than animals. Anyway, we should probably go find that orc village.
Yeah, no worries. I can definitely help lead you there.
Yeah.
I could probably sniff the place out. Quite literally. If you'll indulge me, I'm not gonna let these guys go to waste. Storm would like to harvest as much meat as he can from the Triceratops.
Okay, roll me a survival check.
Come on, kitty boy, roll good. 17.
Yeah, you're able to do a pretty good job of getting meat off one of them.
Excellent.
But bear in mind, it's a lot of meat.
That's fine. We do have a bag of holding of sorts, so...
Look, at least no one put their car keys in that.
How much meat can I take, then?
Give me a strength check.
Come on, Storm. You're good at this now. 12.
I would say you're able to cut off about 120 pounds of meat.
Okie dokie.
Damn.
Triceratops meat 120 LPS.
So
I
she's
think-
gonna take the nose horn off the one she beat to death.
To be honest, Storm.
Roll me
Uh,
a strength check, please, Squish.
Oh, it helps if I open Squish's character.
Oh, actually, I'll let you decide strength or dexterity, whichever one you prefer.
Probably dexterity because Squish is not very strong.
To be honest, Storm, if we don't make use of that meat, we can always use it as a bartering chip with the orcs.
Perhaps that's an option.
I'll let you have advantage with this because you basically did a decent bit of damage to its horn to begin with. But yeah, you're able to snap it off fairly easy.
Storm can't help but lick his kitty lips though, and can't deny though it's pretty tasty looking meat. Makes me hungry just looking at it.
Oh, maybe we'll have some later on when we stop to camp.
Yes.
Maybe we will, yes.
Storm, I would like you to make me. What is your passive perception?
My passive perception is pretty good, boyo, at 17.
Yeah, you can sense something to the northeast, roughly around about there.
Could you ping it again?
Yeah, it's roughly directly northeast.
Ah, well, I think I have our heading. I feel something to the northeast.
Oh, sorry. Squish.
Oh no, you're fine, Squish.
Oh, okay.
I want you
I'd
as
say it
close
was-
as possible.
Yeah, so it was about mid-afternoon when you got here. So, as you travel, the evening starts to set in. Takes you about an hour to get to where this presence is coming from, and as you approach, you find another small clearing. Sat around a small campfire, you can see 3 individuals. Behind one of them is a dead and partly butchered elephant. You see an orc hunter, a drow, and a furbolg.
Okay.
Each one, the orc is armed with a bow, the drow has a couple of scimitars, and the furbolg has a spear. Roll me an investigation check.
Sure thing. 11.
Ooh. Yeah, you can tell that the killing blow that brought this elephant down came from the furbolg's spear.
Okie dokie. And they haven't noticed us yet, huh?
Not quite, they're too busy talking to one another.
Storm's going to awaken our mind to Jeremiah super fast. Jeremiah, an orc. You think it's worth asking them for directions towards one of their tribes? What either one will do, eh? Just nod, if yes.
Jeremiah nods.
Alright.
I would just say the orc seems to be behaving rather unusually. As though she's drunk. Not fully bladdered, but just on that little bit buzzy edge.
Now, I've experienced the Green Wrath, or rather, Storm has. Does this seem like it could be the same thing?
Roll me a history check with advantage.
Thank you. Yes, advantage 17.
This does not look like the Green Wrath.
Nah. Thought it was worth asking. All right.
Want me to ask in Orcish?
Why not? It's worth a try. Go for it, Jeremiah.
Haven't used that in a long while. And in Orcish, he called out, "Hail, fellow hunters!"
The hunters look over to Jeremiah and just go, and the Furball goes, "Hey, come on over.
Don't mind if we do. Thank you very much.
No sense you all standing around there, is there?"
I presume that's in common. Because otherwise everyone else would be walking just...
Yeah. Just going to make sure that Aja has... Yeah, I'll just go control the ballista.
Seph, call me paranoid, but as Storm is heading over, he's going to activate his Ring of Secrets, which will detect a trap within 30 feet of him.
Okay. You activate it, and you sense no trap. But you sense something unusual. You can see something unusual about these two.
Which two in particular?
The Drow and the Furbolg.
Gotcha.
You sense... You seem to... The Furbolg seems to be surrounded in fire, while the Drow seems to be surrounded in moonlight.
Interesting. Okay. So
what brings you?
You first.
So what brings you to the Maiden's Grounds then, my friend?
A lot of things. Heard that there are very unusual creatures that we don't usually find in this realm. Up on here.
Oh yes, we have quite a selection here, don't we? The Drow basically smiles and indicates the elephant.
Jeremiah is going to make a religion check because he can put 2 and 2 together. Yeah, I believe he can put 2 and 2 together.
Okay.
When they use we.
I'd like to take a stab at that too, if you'll allow me, Seph.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Decide amongst the two of you who gets to roll, and I'll give you advantage.
Well, I got a +2 to religion roll, so.
Okay. You go. You go. You would probably do better than.
No, I didn't.
Can we go with mine then?
You can, but yeah, you can't really. You try and rack your brains about any possible significance, but no, it's just not coming.
I take it you hunt here often?
Whenever we get the chance to, but unfortunately it's been quite a while since we were able to meet up for a little sport. Incidentally, my name is Itra.
Pleasure to meet you.
And my name's Kira.
Well, Kira, you were the one who took down that elephant, I see. I can see a spear wound on my... Bleh. Yeah.
Quite the usurped one, aren't you?
Well, I am a ranger, ma'am. It comes with the territory.
Roll me a insight check.
Excellent. That was the intended reaction. Okay. 25!
You notice both these women eye you up as if to evaluate you.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually see Kira kind of sniffing at the air, and you can tell that she's caught scent of a Triceratops meat.
I see you feel it too. In the air and in the ground, all around us.
Oh yes, it's a great place for sport, this place, but what can I say? Rangers like yourself are pretty, well, you're welcome here. It's a home away from home, so to speak.
Oh, that it is. I've not felt anything like this. It pales in comparison to the hunting grounds back in Chalza. Makes it seem like a pale in comparison.
Chalza, indeed. Well, there's a lot of great game in that place.
Oh yeah, last time we were there, we took down a T-Rex, didn't we, everyone? Several, actually.
Yes, that was an interesting moment. I've heard there's a couple of rogue chromatics running around that island. You know, a big nasty one that's kept on a little bit of a leash by that lich running things.
Oh, the green worm.
That's a badger.
Well, I mean, he's a little bit of an undead one.
Dracolich, I see. Yes, I heard that's how the undead fellow was keeping control of it.
If the green worm wasn't a figure of such local significance, I'd take it out. It's a threat to everyone around Chalza.
And don't you think that's the reason he keeps it on such a short leash?
Mm-hmm. All the same, the thing turned my elder brother into its thrall for a long, long time. I can't say I'm fond of it.
Well, it's starting to get late if you want to stick with our camp. I know your friend over there is she's got a pretty nasty shoulder injury.
That she does, as much as she'd like to tell us otherwise.
Well, like I say, just pick a spot and we'll dole out the elephant.
Got some Triceratops meat handy if you'd like to try some of that as well.
You know what? I like you very much, my friend. Come on, sit down.
You know what? Yes.
The murder is on my head. Damn it.
Oh, there you go, Squish. Bolt, come on, move over. Perch on Midi.
I'd say that they're able to clear enough. We can't show it on the map, obviously, but there's enough room for everyone around the fire. Two hunters are kind of... They're checking on the meat that's already cooking, kind of ask you for some of the Triceratops meat to secure that, get it ready.
Hell yeah, someone will pass it over. Gladly.
Mm-hmm. You watch as Eater very daintily skewers the meat, preps it for cooking. Gently singing a little song to herself in what you assume is Elvish.
Shame I don't know that language.
Does anyone here know Elvish?
I think Ardeth. Oh, and Sammy.
Sammy, this is not Elvish. Roll me a history check.
Okay. History.
I was going to re-roll that because it didn't quite make it, but yeah, I'll accept it. 19. You know this
wait.
isn't Elvish, but it's
Hang on,
very.
Let me roll that. I
Personal
rolled insight.
Yeah.
Now, you know this isn't Elvish, but you can't quite place the language. It's very similar, though.
A dialect. Not Elvish.
I just need to roll this for Ardeth. 2 seconds. This is for Ardeth. Yeah, Ardeth is currently preoccupied with the hole in her shoulder.
Come on, it's healing. It is healing, after all.
Well, I know, but it's still painful.
Yeah, if it heals, even with a potion of healing, it'll be a few days while it's sore.
So, Sephi,
Yes.
who was doing the singing?
That would be Idra, the drow.
Idra. Okay. So, Idra, that's a pretty tune. Can't say I'm familiar with it.
Oh, it's from the ancestors. You know, it's a... How do you say it's a traditional song?
Ah, yes, I understand. But, pardon my curiosity, Tabaxi and all that, but what's the song about?
It is a song about how beautiful the Feywild is.
Oh.
It's a song that reminds me very much of my home.
I've never had the pleasure of visiting. I'd like to one day.
Oh, you'll never know. Anything is possible.
Seph? Idra's a
Yeah.
drow.
Yes, she is a drow.
Drow usually don't come from the don't really know the Feywild. Usually. At least not in a practical sense.
The player has a niggling about this, but he's not quite sure.
Roll me a religion check.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a fat 15.
Yeah, you recall that the elven gods came from the Feywild.
Gotcha.
Also, you just start to notice that through the moonlight, her darkened skin is appearing a little lighter, as though the moonlight is sort of producing a shadow effect.
Mm-hmm. I had an inkling. Okay. You know, the only elves I'm aware of that lived in the Feywild are the elven gods themselves. And there's certainly something different about you two. And it's just about Kira and Idra. One of you's wreathed in flames, and the other catches the moonlight itself.
Each kind of chuckles to herself softly. Goes, well, you are ignoring the Eladrin, but I see that you are very perceptive even for a hunter. You watch as she smiles, and she starts to glow with a soft radiance.
Well, it was a little bit likely that we would run into gods.
In the hunting
Elstree
ground?
smiles and nods. Yes, I suppose it would be rather obvious who we are. I think you should perhaps drop your disguise, my dear. You watch as the furbow nods, and despite her size, she grows bigger and bigger. And I just need 1 second to get this.
Jeremiah's head tilts back. And further back.
Ditto, while Storm instinctively pulls Squish close to him.
Just need 1 second to find the artwork. It should be on here.
Squish
Oh
isn't
my.
is it?
All I wanna do is see you turn into a giant woman, a giant woman.
Look, it's not the attack of the 50-foot god, so...
Yet.
You just watch as she transforms, growing to about 20 feet in height. Her spear, the tip of it starts to burn, smoulder before catching fire. As she looks down and goes, well, it was fun to, I don't want to say deceive you, but it was nice to be able to go around in disguise for a while.
Oh, well, don't feel like you have to keep your disguise off around us now that the jig is up. But I must say, it's very impressive what I see.
Well, I think it would be best to just be honest now.
Hey, fair enough. Hunting grounds reveal all, after all.
Well, it is the rules of the Scorpion Coast. We gods cannot manifest ourselves properly, so we have to make do with mortal forms.
I was actually wondering, how come there are so many gods around?
Well, that would be more to do with your...
outside of our luck.
Freya kind of points to, indicates Ardeth. That would be to do with your friend up there.
Turns to Ardeth, looks confused, looks back. How is she the reason that gods are around?
Well, it is not so much her than her people. Basically, when they came to Toril, they tore a colossal hole in the fabric.
And you're walking, basically using that as a way to cross over to our plane of existence.
In a sense, yes. It is more that the hole has started to heal. It is still healing, to be honest, but it will always be slightly, just weak enough for us to manifest in mortal form. For example, I could not burst in fully in my true power.
So really, Toro is just a nice vacation spot. Or rather, the Scorpion Coast specifically.
Yes,
Australian Islands.
Yes, I would say it is something of our playground. Even creatures like Asmodeus are able to get out here. I dare say even Tiamat could enter this world.
Yeah, we've run into Asmodeus.
I wouldn't worry about him as long as you don't take any deal.
Well, so far, any deal he offered was, strangely enough, very fair from his point of view.
Well, it is how he draws you in. I mean, who would willingly sell their soul to someone who they know would betray them? At least not until he's sweetened it a little.
You attract more flies and honey than vinegar, Jeremiah.
I know. But
I
still.
would like to know who has passive perception above 13.
Well, you know Storm and Bolt do.
Jeremiah does have a passive perception of 15.
It does. Squish does not.
Right. I would say Jeremiah, Midnight, Bolt, and Storm all notice Elstray is sniffing at the air with what can only be described as a worried look on her face.
Smell something
Noticing
foul?
someone?
Yes, I can. It is. I can smell something, but I have not smelled in a very long time. You haven't been near the Riders recently, have you?
Not for a while. It's been a few days, hasn't it? No,
I think so.
I think it's been a 10-day at least.
Why, do we carry a specific scent?
Yes, that is the scent of my mother. Of
With-
her poisons.
Oh, I think I know. I have lost sword. Devillo.
Oh, that would explain it. It's been a while since I saw him.
Yeah, he's right here on my back. Storm will shuffle his shoulders a bit just to bring Devillo into view.
You just
Go for it.
I'd say that anyone watching can see the eye kind of
Sorry, Seph, you're cutting out.
lazily over.
Looks like we have a family.
looks her over and goes back to sleep, basically.
Oh, I was about to offer him a family reunion, but he doesn't seem all that interested. He's just waiting for the next combat, I suppose. Next opportunity to spill the blood. Then he's very enthusiastic.
Yes, he always was. It is unusual for a mortal to be able to wield him without my mother's blessing, though.
Well, there's a bit of a funny story about that.
Yeah, see, he was mine for a wee bit.
But I wanted him more.
Yeah,
We had some contests over it.
indeed.
Kind of watches Elstree kind of tilts her head in slight confusion.
Well, shall we start in the Dwarven city? Storm?
Oh, by all means.
Well, you might know of the Gold Dragon city. Down below is a Dwarven city.
Yes, we're very familiar with that.
Yeah.
City, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a while for the players, so details elude me right now.
Well, you could just say, we summarize what happened.
Well, he summarizes what happened roughly, and after she was slain, when I killed her, the sword decided, you know what, you're my new master now.
But you
And
were particularly keen, eh?
Yeah, I mean, he's not really my style.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Kind of watches Elstree kind of checks on the cooking meat, and then starts handing it round.
Oh, yeah. Storm takes his portion and bolts and tosses it to the birdie boy, who snaps it up quite happily.
Hey, Storm, do you still have some of that liquor?
Oh, yes, I definitely do.
Well, I think it would only be right to share it with our new friends.
Oh, gods, Jeremiah, they're probably used to it.
Yeah, but still.
Hey, you won't find me complaining. Storm pulls out the nectar of the gods and passes it to Jeremiah. Actually, first he takes a swig for himself, then he passes it to Jeremiah. Only little sips now. We can't take that stuff very well.
Yeah, we're kind of a little weak to it. And he takes a little sip himself and offers it to the next person sitting around.
Okay, I'd like everyone to make me Constitution saving throws, please.
Oh, yay!
All right.
I'd like to remind everyone that Bolt is of legal drinking age, so he's going to get in on this too, because fun.
Yeah, but Jeremiah's perfectly fine.
Oh, no.
Storm, on the other hand, not so much.
Everyone who's taking a drink, is everyone who's taking a drink taking a drink?
Yep.
Adja, can you give me a Constitution save, please?
Presuming you're drinking from the godly brew. Oh, yeah, Alistair. What a champ.
The nectar of the gods is passed around. Everyone takes a sip. You kind of watch as Elistrae's eyes start to droop a little. She smiles getting wider. You kind of see her limbs relax. Samael and Storm, you two are feeling this, as is Bolt. In fact, Jeremiah, Ardeth, and Alistair, you feel a little buzzy, but yeah, you're fine. The rest of you are now drunk. Iafea is likewise slightly buzzed, but she's okay. And the orc too is drunk.
Okay. So immediately, Bolt just sways forward and back, forward, then gets completely falls back with his talons up in the air, just twitching. And Storm is just like swaying from side to side, but leaning more into Squish every time before he falls flat on his side. Just or he's hurt.
Yeah.
Looks
Squish is
like
absolutely
they're...
fine as well, I should say.
Well, looks like it hit them a little bit harder than some of us.
In defense, Jeremiah, I am still recovering from the green rat.
That's why it's probably affecting you a little bit worse.
To be fair, it's helping my shoulder, so...
You're welcome, Ardeth. Have some more if you feel like it.
Ardeth is going to try a little more.
Against this booze. I don't think Sammy has ever saved against this booze, and it is rather amusing.
I don't think Sammy has saved against booze in general.
Yeah, Ardeth's fine. Ardeth is fine with the sentence.
Hey, Squish, you look so big from down here.
I'm guessing that Asmodeus, Lolf, and ourselves are not the only gods you've interfered with.
In fairness, they interfere with us. Let's see, there's Rowan, the cat lord. He's been rather pleasant and nice. Very helpful. There's Sune, who has been eyeing up me and my gorgeous goblin gal for a while now. She's a bit of a bitch, and I wish she'd back off. Am I missing anyone else, Jeremiah?
We had encountered a little bit of the Raven Queen at some point, but our paths have parted.
Oh, and don't forget Tsukiyomi.
Oh
yeah. And Storm just thrusts up his arm and pulls down his long coat and just shows off the Aquanox's brand. And I am a fury of Aquanox.
You kind of watch as Hiatea kind of tilts her head a little bit as she examines the mark. A creature from beyond. Interesting.
Yes, indeed.
I assume that's how he figured out your true self.
Yes, that would explain your friend's remarkable perception. I get the feeling that he sees things that are really there.
It's true. I asked Aquinox for assistance in, if you pardon my bluntness, deciphering godly bullshit.
Believe me, you get no argument from me on that score.
I like these two. They're so personable. And so direct.
To be honest, most of the gods who come to the Scorpion Coast do their best to remain quiet. After all, it would be somewhat difficult if our followers to suddenly discover we could be just found hanging around in a forest.
Oh yeah, it kind of ruined your vacations, eh?
Precisely.
Yeah, it's the fan club running around. Can I get a handshake? Can I get an autograph?
Well, in my case, it is a little more difficult given my whole situation.
Jeremiah blinks.
What would your situation be? You have to pardon me if you've already mentioned it. I am very drunk.
Well, I'm not sure if you know, but most of the elven gods that became the drow gods are not exactly pleasant.
Ah, yes. Love
yeah.
was not kind when we met her.
Yes.
And my brother is not much better, but I do what I can to help the drow put aside my mother's instinct for conquest.
Well, if she's not getting any better at her job, forgive me for being so blunt, but even a ragtag group of adventurers could stop her in her tracks.
Yeah, you did it twice. I wasn't there for the first time.
I get the feeling that you underestimate her despite the fact that she was in mortal form.
To be honest, she murderized one of her friends, in a way.
Ah, I see.
She's better now.
That is good to hear.
Yeah, she's an expecting mother.
Now, that is good to hear.
Yeah. She's a gold dragon now. with how things work that way.
And that is very unusual to hear.
Trust me, I would not have believed it had I not seen the transformation myself.
Yeah, Bahamut and the Raven Queen kind of tag team on that one.
Squish is going to kick Jeremiah in the shin. You're
Ow.
You gotta-
sharing again.
Hirte kind of blinks a little. She's taken it back a little bit. It's the first time I've heard the Platinum Worm sort of allowing the Raven Queen to interfere, so to speak.
She had her reasons.
Yes, well, the Raven Queen is not popular among gods. She likes to remind us of our own fragility, for lack of a better word.
Blink.
It seems, Jeremiah,
Blink.
it seems even the gods don't like being reminded that they are, on borrowed time.
That we can be ended, yes.
Yes.
Granted, it is much, much more difficult than kill a mortal, but yes, the Raven Queen holds much more power than she lets on.
Yeah, kind of figured. Also,
So, We've heard a lot from you two lovely ladies. What about your orcish friend there? She's not really piped up much. And yes, Storm did deliberately interject there.
Roll an inside check.
The gods were starting to feel a bit troubled. Oh, yeah. Oh, that one. Too drunk.
Yeah, you're too drunk to tell. As far as you can tell, she's just kind of drunk as well. So... Well, she's a local hunter. This is her regular hunting grounds.
Yes, but she's been a bit out of sorts since we got here. Even before I started spreading around the nectar of the gods.
Well, she too is, well, you said yourself, the green wrath does affect hunters, so...
I thought it does that at first too, but it seems to be affecting her differently.
1 second. Well, it does have different effects. I mean, she is more used to it, so she can suppress it better.
Ah, yes. That's a fair point. I was basically out of my mind. Had to get
Stray starts handing out the Triceratops meat.
Ah, my kale.
Well, I hope it is as delicious for you as it was in the moment.
I should hope so. They say food tastes better when you hunt it and prepare it yourself. Storm chops.
That I can agree.
Here you go, son. Storm will toss Dog his portion, and it just flops on top of him. Oh yeah, we're hideously drunk.
His head just draped on his beak.
That's right, you just slowly work at it, son. Ah, what a beautiful boy I have.
So, if you don't mind me asking, I get the feeling you didn't come into the grounds just to state your desire for a hunt.
No, he did not. We heard there was trouble brewing between the orc tribes, and we need to settle that so we can gain entrance to the home of the fire giants.
And not only the orc tribes, the stone giants up there as well, I believe.
Yes. The fire giants will be difficult to barter with. It's not a good situation right now.
Maybe you can enlighten us a little?
Well, as you know, we gods try not to get involved. At least some of us don't. Not
Yes.
too long ago, the fire giant king... 1 second. The king of the fire giants... I can't find the name. It's in here somewhere. It's Dreyfus, the king of the fire giants, had a disagreement with the cloud giant King Agvir. The two met and fought one another, and Agvir killed Dreyfus. As a result, Dreyfus' daughter Brina became queen. As is tradition, she presented Agvir with an Aorine stone.
Ah, see, now that is what we need. Some Aorine.
Yes, unfortunately, Agvir fell ill not long after. It has been 3 weeks since he basically fell into a death-like sleep.
Huh.
And right now, his wife, Queen Miriam, is trying to work out what to do. She believes the fire giants are responsible for this. And unfortunately, at around the same time, Agvia's crown was stolen.
Huh.
Alistair,
Mhm.
could you make me a history check, please? One second, I need to re-roll that. Alistair, you remember Lakir sort of being very pleased and holding a very large golden hoop.
Hmm. Okay. Go ahead, sorry.
No, it's alright.
I guess I could mention that.
Well, that is not good. If it didn't perchance have runes written on it, did it?
Did it have runes written on it?
Give me an investigation check. Yeah, you noticed the runes on it.
Okay. There were runes for sure.
And what are the...
Shoot.
I get the feeling that, yes, that is indeed Agvir's crown. If you could recover it, it would probably help him.
I don't reckon the chances of Lokia just letting us have the crown are very good at all.
Probably not.
To be honest, even if they had the crown, if he's still in his death sleep, it won't do much good.
Of course.
What is a crown without a king?
Mm-hmm.
Or a queen?
Yes, but you do not understand how giant magic works, do you?
I might be rather tall for a human, but no.
The runes give the item mystical powers. In Agvir's case, it protects him from curses and diseases, etc.
So basically, we get the crown, put it on his head, and boom! No more deathless sleep.
Precisely, whatever is afflicting him will basically be cancelled out by the presence of the crown.
Well, looks like we might have to pay Lokir another visit very, very soon indeed.
Indeed.
Let's steal it.
Oh! Alistair, you're so bold, stealing from your boss! I mean, it's not even been a day! I like this fox.
There is not much you can do right now. It is getting dark. It is pretty much dark now. Kind of look around and you can see that it is indeed... The sun has basically set. It's kind of the golden hour right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we wouldn't be able to make it in time back for the last train, I presume.
Oh, definitely. Also, we're not the only hunters about right now, so it'd be best to just set up camp and just keep an eye out.
Also, did you not want to see the orcs?
That we did!
Which excuse us just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of watch as Trey takes his fire over here. The giantess kind of crouches down so Chiba Drow can converse in private. And
Private, they say.
yeah, is anyone trying to listen in?
Yes, I am, and Storm still has advantage on perception checks.
Okay, roll me perception. Anyone who's trying to listen in.
You know what?
20!
Squish is gonna.
You know what? Jeremiah's sober, so he might actually.
Yeah.
That's the 20. That's the good rolls that I usually need on Saturdays.
Alistair, you can't really make it out, but everyone else, you can definitely hear the conversation. They basically say, Alistair's kind of, I told you can't keep her. You have to let her go back. I know, but she's fun to have around. I know, but we made an agreement. If we cannot do this to mortal.
The gods tried to adopt an NPC.
It's kind of adorable!
I tell you, we have to let her go home. For all we know, this could be the source of this problem between the two tribes. They're here to investigate that after all. Kind of watches. Here, Tay kind of returns to her fur-bulk form and walks back to the campfire. Illustrate likewise reverts to mortal form and sits down again.
I hope you don't mind me asking, but is everything alright?
It's nothing. It's just we become rather attached to her.
Ah, your orcish friend.
Yes, well, I would say that Tay has become rather more than attached.
Fallen in love? Or more like fallen in love like a mortal falls in love with a puppy?
Roll me. Actually, I'm just gonna roll this and see. Yeah, you don't. You notice there's a little bit of awkwardness. I mean, you mentioned that.
Look, I understand that love falls into weird places sometimes. But both have to agree to stay around one another.
That is what I've been trying to tell her. Jeremiah, roll me a persuasion.
Oh, great. That's my greatest non-skill.
Good luck, buddy! Oh no.
Well,
You notice here basically gets very sheepish all of a sudden.
look. I really don't know how to say this. Because, the stereotypes about barbarians, that we just take the women we want, or the partner we want, I should say. Some of us, after all, prefer their mates to be of the same kind. But love isn't a one-way street.
Storm's actually gonna get up shakily, go over to Midnight and Bolt, pick Bolt up and carry him back over in his arms, like one would do a baby, as he sits back down. There's something about love that a lot of people don't like to talk about. And that's if you love something, you let it go. I have recently come to contemplate the fact that my time with my son is coming to an end soon. He has his eyes on a prospective mate, A phoenix, in fact. And she seems very interested in him, too. And birds like Bolt, Cholton fish eagles, they mate for life. So when the time comes, and my boy is ready to leave, and join his mate in the elemental plane of fire, perhaps, I may never see him again. But I'm willing to not only accept that, but do everything I can to make it happen. Because I love my boy. And his happiness is worth more than mine, by leaps and bounds.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Okay, please roll good. 24!
You watch as the Firbolg looks down and sighs. I suppose you're right. I suppose you're right. Kind of watches.
I understand it's not easy.
Kind of watches the elk gradually starts to seem to come round, and that was an interesting couple of days.
You feeling alright now?
Yes, I'm fine. I just a little bit of a headache, but the hunting's been so good recently.
Oh yeah, like it's freaking wild here.
You're telling me. I suppose I should probably introduce myself. Hitea and Lady Illustrator haven't exactly introduced me, so my name's Kalir.
Kalir, pleasure to meet you.
Jeremiah introduces himself in Orcish.
She smiles and responds in kind.
Jeremiah gently offers his shoulder to the Firbolg.
It's alright, I'll deal with her later. You kind of watches she kind of shifts from where she's been sat and makes a point of sitting close as she can to Hitea.
Ah,
And I shall just pop up the thing for Kalir.
so Kalir, important question. You've been gone for several days from your tribe, yes?
I would say so, yeah.
And would they get antsy about that?
Well, the only other reason I can think of that they might get annoyed is if, oh no. I can't believe Gagdon would do this. Please tell me she's not decided to go after Brogda.
Well, wait, first things first. Who or what is Brogda?
Brogda is the chieftain of the Elderlone tribe, a very other orcs living further south.
Ah, yes.
Oh.
That may well be the case, since we've heard there's a bit of a kerfuffle going on between your two tribes.
I have to head back home.
Well, I trust you won't object with company along the way. We need to see this matter resolved too.
Of course. Just... We'll go in the morning, okay?
Of course.
All right.
It's too late now, and I think we could all do with a bit of a rest.
You watch as she nods and she kind of takes Hitea to one side and they basically nestle up together.
Looks like this love is a two-way street.
If you love something, let it go. If it doesn't come back, it was never yours to begin with.
It is, can I say this? There is a reason why we dislike both the Raven Queen and Sune. They have more power than we would like to admit.
I want to insight that.
You may do so. Please roll it.
I get the impression that the reason why they don't like us so much is because they can take away things they care about on the mortal plane. Oh, a fat 9.
I only have advantage with that because you've kind of getting familiar with how Sune works. The reason why the gods don't like the Raven Queen and Sune in particular is because they have power over them.
That makes sense. Now that I think about it a little, it makes total sense. Gods can love and gods can die, so of course Sune and the Raven Queen would rub you the wrong way.
At least, I would say this, the Raven Queen at least is amiable. She's grumpy and cold, but she at least respects us.
Mm-hmm.
She plays by the rules, whereas Suna doesn't.
Yes, it is. Well, it is well known amongst us that if there is one person who could rein Sune in, it would be the Raven Queen. I would say Bahamut would be a distant second, given as if he interfered, it would cause a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it would basically mean that the rulebook is thrown out the window, I presume.
It would mean he would basically smash her in the face with the rulebook.
And
Yes,
then the rulebook goes out the window with her.
Oh no, he would stick with the rulebook. Bahamut is very big on his rules, but he's also very heavy-handed.
Bahamut is very much one of the big gods when it comes to law and order.
Yeah.
I would also like to add that the moment we all started talking about Sune and how she dicks with us and how no one is safe from her bullshittery, yeah, Storm's tail just kind of wrapped around Squish and pulled her close to him.
As soon as Sune came to the table, so to speak, Jeremiah fidgets around with the amber ring.
One second.
The amber ring of anchorage, as he likes to call it.
Right.
Hell, Kitty Boy just like hackles her up and he's snarling a little.
Elistri notices you, Jeremiah. She notices you playing with the ring.
Sorry about that. Soon it just makes me a little bit nervous.
I'm guessing that is a gift from our mutual friend, Mr. Rowan.
That it is.
Indeed.
That is one of the reasons I like him. He is one of us, so to speak. Tends to enjoy the wild things.
Yeah, Rowan's very much a fan of the mortal chaos.
Plus, I can't help but love his little ears.
It's true, they are adorable.
Plus, you never know when you run into him.
Well, you
At
never
least
know.
from our point of view.
I mean, I have some idea where he is, Jeremiah. Storm like waggles the sheet of paper that betrays Rowan's location.
Ah, yes, I would not say that, well, he must trust you very much to allow you to see his location so easily.
We have a pretty positive relationship, yes.
Well, it's good to hear. It is. He is an unusual one, even by our standard.
Hmm. Telling me he just dropped in for a chat not too long ago and he was just worried I wasn't thinking about the future. When it comes to Devillo, mostly.
He is hard to predict, I will admit that, but doubtless he will look after you. He's taking quite a shine to you, I think.
I don't doubt it. As far as I can tell, he's basically been guarding me my whole life long.
Well, we do our best.
Must be quite difficult keeping track of all the mortals that you have to take under your wing.
Again, we do what we can. Being a god is not easy.
Yeah.
I do what I can for my people, but unfortunately, my mother has had such a hold on them for so long, it is difficult to get them to see what's above their heads.
Usually the sky.
Precisely.
Given that they apparently live mostly underground. What's it called again? The Underdark.
Underdark.
The Underdark.
Yeah.
Yes, they do not deserve to have to live down there, but all I can do is try to guide whoever I can, either to the Under King or to basically just go to the surface on their own accord.
Yeah, I've met a few people, rather amicable, actually, some of them.
Well, that is just it. We are not much different to regular elves. It's just that we are better adapted to fighting in the dark.
To be honest, I never fought one of your ilk, of the dark elf kind in the dark. Then again, would have difficulty against regular elf.
That's technically not true, Jeremiah. You have fought gods.
Yeah, but I'm still talking about dark elves.
I understand what you meant, but Elistry is no comparison to your normal drow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but still, they still hold that advantage over me.
Storm, I would like you to make an investigation check.
Okay. 21.
You notice that Elistray's outfit can just about be called clothing.
She's wearing the modesty bikini.
Essentially, yeah. Would you like to roll the religion check?
Sure! Religion, where are you? There you are. 10.
Okay. You do know just about enough about Elistray's followers that when they go hunting, they use swords, and that's all. They go hunting in the nip.
You know, Jeremiah, I'm just letting you know now that if you were to face LS3's followers, you may be unprepared for several things. Namely, the fact they go hunting in the buff.
I'm just going to put a disclaimer now. This is there in the backstory, in the lore. It's there. You read it.
Don't blame Seph, blame Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah. To be honest, Storm, I've got a few cousins that do the same.
Oh, there you go. You won't be at quite a disadvantage after all. Don't look at me. I'm still kind of drunk.
The thing is, they're all dudes, so that's less of a distraction.
Oh, yes. Both, well, any gender is welcome to become one of my followers. It is preferred that they hunt as I do.
So swords and nothing else. I can't deny it's tempting, but I'm already spoken for when it comes to deities, I'm afraid.
Yes, I can understand that you have two, well, one deity and one creature on your side.
Creature is the most modest descriptor I've ever heard for Lord Aquanox.
Well, I have not encountered him personally, but given the type of being he is, I doubt he would appreciate being called a god.
That's true. He told me himself he is above such things.
Still, unless anyone wants some more Triceratops, I recommend we get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, we set up watch.
I will take the first watch. If there's anyone who wishes to join me, you are more than welcome to.
Don't mind if I do.
I mean, I'll take whichever watch is deepest and darkest in the night.
That would be the second watch.
Then I got that one.
All by yourself?
Yes, Storm.
Ah, thanks, Squish. I appreciate it. I love you.
And who will be taking the final watch?
I guess me.
I suppose I will as well.
Very well. We shall get some rest, and myself and Mr. Jeremiah shall keep watch.
Please just call me Jeremiah, after all. We are, in a way, on a first-name basis.
That is true, I suppose.
Mr. Jeremiah was my father.
The rest of you...
No, my father was actually Donald. Funnily enough.
Donald Underman. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
You all start to drift off. Jeremiah, I would like you to make me a perception check, please.
Sure. That'll be a 16.
You and Astray take your watch. Is there anything you'd like to discuss with her, or...?
No. Nothing in particular that comes to mind, actually.
Okay.
So, if at all, we make some light conversation.
Yeah, you basically make some light conversation. I'd probably say you talk a little bit more about how gods work, and she gives you a little bit more insight into what happened with the tear in reality, and how the Four Claimers basically allowed the gateway for the gods to exist. But
Very intriguing.
But it isn't too long before your watch is over, and Storm and Squish.
Hell yeah.
I would like you to roll me a perception check, please.
Okay, and Storm gets it with advantage.
Okay.
Good thing, because I got a 16 too. Woo.
Squish. Yeah, nothing pops up during the night. Is there anything you two would like to talk about?
Oh yeah, Storm definitely has things to talk about.
Okay.
So, Squish, now that it's just us, I've been meaning to talk to you about something for a little while now.
Oh?
Especially, yes, Rowan got me thinking about the future. I've been wondering if you've given any thought to what we'd be doing once all the adventuring is done. You know, where we put Lord Harrowmonk down and the day is saved?
all. I do like traveling.
Traveling, huh? There's a fair few places we could go see. I mean, Jeremiah won't shut up about Waterdeep. I'd like to visit Shot sometime. And I'm also interested in tracking down my mother's side of the family to let them know, her fate and what came of it. If you're okay with that, yeah. I'd like to go traveling with you once the adventure's done.
That sounds like a good adventure, but let's not include the gods in this one, yeah?
Oh, yeah, seriously, it's been fun? Well, okay, no, it was interesting. But yeah, sometimes they get a bit too involved for my liking. Especially her. I don't need to elaborate, do I?
No, you don't. I'm still a little worried that she might have something up her sleeve for us.
We know it's coming, and we know it soon. We don't know exactly what it is or when it's going to be. But we're as prepared as we can be for it. We can only take it when it comes and try to come through the other side the same way we went in.
Oh, we
Can't let her get...
a wannabe god.
I reckon our chances are good, Squish. I ain't ever gonna let her do anything that would hurt you or the boys.
Definitely not. I feel the same way. But you have to promise me something.
I'm all ears.
No more running off and killing random things.
You mean like the Triceratops?
Yeah. You were acting weird. I didn't like it.
Still looks visibly dismayed at that. I'm sorry, I really couldn't help myself. It really got into my head. But... I can't promise it won't ever happen again, especially with all the gods messing around with us. They're very powerful people, and as powerful as I've become, they're still leagues above me. For the time being. So, what I can promise you is that I will do my damnedest to resist any such tomfuckery from them. I'm afraid that's the best I can do, sweetie.
Close enough. You're close enough to a god anyway.
Yeah, he's very flustered at that.
Yeah, about 5 feet.
Jeremiah, shush, you should be asleep.
Squish still doesn't know what a god is.
Well, I'll happily be your god. Big goofy grin.
As the two of you basically talk, it gets close to the end of your watch. Alistair.
Uh-oh.
That's the wrong music. Jay, are you there?
Yeah, sorry, I'm having computer trouble.
No worries. Alistair, as you sleep, you suddenly find yourself in a very familiar looking chamber. Roll me a history check.
$11.
Yes. You recognize this as the little office that Lorcaire keeps. But it's completely dark. There's just a little sliver of light coming from the small window.
Oh shit.
Oh, shit is right, my little friend.
Is this because I said we should steal something?
Roll me a religion check.
God damn it. Let's see. Oh, well. Ooh.
Yeah, you listened to Locke here trying to teach you about mask, trying to teach you about where thieves' luck comes from. And yeah, you're pretty certain you know exactly who this is.
Oh, okay.
So, my little Alistair, you want to take Lorkir's new prize, don't you?
Is it too late to say no?
Yes, it is, I'm afraid.
Psych, just kidding.
Oh, come now. Surely Alistair taught you enough about me to, well, give you some impression of how I work.
Sorry, Dennis distracted me.
I was being very stealthy.
But you look
Sorry, Dennis, but Mask decided to drop you in it.
Apparently, he's not stealthy enough.
Be a Mask. Oh, so you can kind of see this shadowy figure sort of flitting from corner to corner.
That's creepy.
So, tell me, little Alice. You're certain you want to go through this little heist?
Sure. I mean, I'm bored. I don't have anything else to do, so why not?
That's exactly what I want to hear.
Woohoo!
Kier is loyal. He's an exceptional keymaster, but he was always eyeing you up as a potential successor.
Oh wow, that's a lot of pressure.
Of course, you're not ready, not by a long shot, but I might give you a little assistance.
Ooh. His eyes get really big. Can I get
Granted,
to learn cool stuff?
no, but I will give you something many thieves would kill to get their hands.
Oh.
Your new friend, Miss Anarchy, is also in possession of such an item.
Ooh.
But make no mistake, this boon will be granted once, and you must use it only in an emergency. Whether or not you choose to do this during your heist or not is up to you, but bear in mind I cannot show you favors. At least not too much.
You don't want the others to get jealous. I get it.
More that I have to keep Lork here happy as well.
Oh yeah.
But I think we can worry about that when the time comes, don't you?
Yeah.
Excellent. So you will steal the crown of giants back from Lokir, and you will return it to Agvir himself.
Okie dokie.
Also, I would like you to give a little message to Blondquist.
Okie doke.
Tell her that she has a rival. She's been eyeing up the keymaster position for quite some time right now. And, well, I haven't decided which of the two of you deserve my patronage.
Oh, so it's like a contest.
Precisely. She stole the crown. You steal it back. She
Okay.
proved herself stealing from a king of giants. You shall prove yourself by stealing from one of my own keymasters.
I mean, yes.
I'm glad you see it my way. As I said, you will find my boon in your pocket when you wake up.
Yay, shiny.
I trust you'll enjoy your watch.
Ooh. A watch, you say?
As you say that, the room starts to swirl and unform as you return to sleep.
Da-da-da.
Squish and Storm, would you like to wake up Sammy and Alistair?
Of course we will. But just give me a brief moment. You know, Squish. I was thinking, when this is all over, maybe I can get a ship of my own, and that way we can travel in style.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it won't be as fancy as Ark, but hey, we're bound to be rolling in the gold, eh?
Midnight Order, yes.
This is true.
She's gonna go over and just like tug Sammy's tail. Sammy.
Storm's gonna go over and give like Alistair a gentle nudge with his kitty Pete's. Up and at him!
Yeah, and Sammy wakes up.
Alistair, in your pocket, you can feel something small and hard.
Okay. Can I pull it out and look at it?
Yes, you can. Give me a stealth check.
There's an "Are you excited to see me?" joke here, and I just can't quite get it.
Yeah, I
Is
wasn't
that
that quick
a
on my feet.
Okay.
I've seen it.
Yeah, anyone who's got passive perception above 11 notices you pull out this small, almost an amber-like jewel.
Oh, that's a nice little trinket. You've always had that?
Yes, what is that?
It's my shiny. You can have it. I shove it back in my pocket.
Alistair, this is a single moment of opportunity. Basically, this is a d20 which you can roll whenever you like, and basically add that to whatever roll you... Basically replace the roll whatever you got. Same as a halfling's luck dice, basically.
Oh, okay.
Fortune's favor.
So, Seph.
Yeah.
Yeah, I storm cast detect magic.
You don't sense magic. You get the same sensation you got when you looked at the rings that Rowan gave you. This is the magic of the gods,
Yeah.
so it doesn't quite register.
Ah. I see that your shiny is a godly trinket. We have several of our own.
Oh, cool. So I'm part of the club now.
Yep. Welcome to the team. The gods are now peering in at you, and they will poke and prod at you till you do things they like.
So like try to grin in the best fox way. I'm like, great.
Ah, yes. Truly you are one of us. You barely tolerate their nonsense.
I'm just a simple fox.
Aye, you're a simple fox, and it's time for your watch. So we'll basically pull Alistair up and give him a hearty
Alistair,
smack on the back.
you also notice on your hip a pouch of holding.
Oh, okay.
Roll me an insight check. I'm not sure why you've got this, but you definitely didn't have it before you taught to mask.
Huh. Okay. I am a very simple fox.
So, as Squish and Midnight snuggle down for the night, Alistair and Sammy, give me perception checks.
Squish and Storm, as a quick correction, but yes, the boys would be snuggled up too. It's a snuggle pile over here.
Yep.
Accidentally.
Oh,
Sammy, you fall asleep. But Alistair, you notice a few critters rummaging through the undergrowth, but nothing dangerous. Just a couple of weasels sort of hopping around. A couple of them going after a rabbit. But other than that, nothing else happens.
Okie dokie.
Is there anything you two wish to... Well, Alistair, is there anything you wish to do while Sammy is asleep?
On his face. He fell asleep first. He fell asleep first. Let's ride on him.
Ooh. No, I'll just strum my lute and just watch the creatures play in the forest, I guess.
Okay. The rest of the night goes on pretty uneventful. You get to the golden hours. Dawn breaks. And Kiratea and Kalir are the first to start stirring.
yeah, they're gods. They kind of have an advantage in this game.
5 more minutes.
Yes, 5 more minutes.
I completely agree with her.
Was that under the blanket with you? Better make it 20 minutes.
Who needs blankets?
I think we should probably get going soon.
Yes. Say, Ardeth, how's your shoulder? Say, Ardeth, how's your shoulder doing?
It's better than it was yesterday, but still twinging.
Yeah.
Brains are evil.
Morning's unnecessary, otherwise you'd never know when the night is over.
I'd wake up. Morning is when I wake up. Or daytime is when I wake up. Mornings are evil. This may or may not reflect the actual opinion of the player.
So, unfortunately, we all have to get up and attend to what we have to attend to.
Aye, and it wouldn't do good to idle. These are hunting grounds, after all. That's like I said, not the only hunters about.
You kind of watches Stray kind of nudges Hiatea awake. She's reluctant to go, but yeah, she and Claire get up pretty quick. Ardeth is kind of already awake.
Maybe we should let our friends look over your wound a little bit. Check it out. Maybe they have a few skills up their sleeves that regular people lack.
I think that gods have a little. They have better things to do than look at my shoulder.
Yeah, I don't know that.
No, come over here and I will have a look. You kind of
See?
you watch as Astray and Ardeth sort of argue a little over this, but eventually Ardeth is basically worn down to the point she'll actually agree to let Astray have a quick look.
Actually, Jeremiah would try getting her to let them look at her shoulder as well. So we're wearing her down a little faster.
Yeah, you basically help Astray wear her down faster, and it's about 5 minutes. Astray has a quick examination. She reaches into her bag, takes out a little poultice, and gives it a little bit of treatment. Well, I'm not sure what weapon you prefer, my dear, but that arm should be good as new in a day or so. Thank you, I suppose. Now then, if you're all ready, we should probably... Me and Hayatail shall continue with our sport, but... Carrier, you will doubtless lead me back to your village. Oh yes, sure, I'll... Since you all want to go see my village so much, I might as well lead you there.
Aye, we appreciate it.
Indeed.
Well, I'll see you both soon.
Don't worry.
Go on.
Don't worry, we take very good care of her.
I know you will. I'll hopefully see you all again soon. You watch as the two goddesses kind of walk off into the forest, leaving you with Krathe.
You know they're not wrong. We're hunters. They're goddesses of the hunt, so... They're with us all the time in some way.
That's true. But come on. Time to take you to my village.
Aye.
Okay. You start making your way
Downtown.
to
Walking fast.
the west.
Couldn't help myself, sorry.
It doesn't take you long before you reach the edge of the forest, and as you peer through, you can start to see the buildings that make up the Green Glow village. And I should just put us onto the map for that. You can reckon that the village is sort of half inside the forest, half out. As you walk up close, you can see a few orcs just kind of milling around, a few attending to small patches of farmland. Not huge patches, but just enough to get what they need.
Yeah.
And Krathe starts leading you through the village.
Hopefully not to that teapot back there.
Jeremiah, please, it's rude to make comments like that.
I didn't say anything. That was that weird voice from over there.
I suppose I should probably take you to see my sister first.
Yes.
I am sure she'll be pleased to see you back.
Yeah, just if she's just out, say be careful. I'm not sure how familiar you are with how orcs do things, but yeah, she might try and beat the tar out of you.
It wouldn't be my first rodeo with an orc.
You know, I can believe that. You make your way towards... Go on.
I mean, how else do you think I learned the language?
That is a fair, reasonable assumption.
Yeah.
You watch as she brings you up to a large building. It's basically the largest house in the village. And she very carefully approaches. Two guards kind of just look her up and just goes, "It's about time you got back. You do realize that your sister's been threatening to go over to the Elderglow village and try and get you back." Yeah, I know. It's been a bit longer than I thought it would. Look, is Gedgen here? Sure, go in. And who are all you?
Hi.
Jeremiah responds in orc. Friends. We're here to help diffuse situations.
He kind of looks to Kelly, who nods, just goes, "Oh, okay. But mind your manners, okay?"
Of course.
The guards kind of step to one side to let you all go inside.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
In we go!
As you do, you enter a large, basically greeting room, sort of like a hall, main hall sort of arrangement. Sat on a large, not quite a throne, but more sort of an arrangement of furs and a chair designed to basically give you the impression of a throne, is Gedgen Irontooth. She sits on a throne and her single remaining eye scans over you. So, my sister goes out hunting and she brings back this. You could have told me that you're going to spend so long out there. Look, we'll discuss this later, okay, Gedgen? In the meantime, these people helped me. They're actually here to speak to you. You watch as Gedgen kind of adjusts herself in the throne and just goes, "Alright, you're here to speak to me, so speak."
Well, Jeremiah, do you want to take this one or shall I?
Storm, you're a little better with words.
Alright. Okay. The player wants some clarification super quick.
Yeah.
We need access to the fire giant specifically, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Fuck it. I'll be direct. It's a storm way. Yes, we are here to ask for your permission so we can venture forth into the realm of the fire giants.
You want to go see the fire giant?
That we do.
You're gonna have a hell of a time doing that right now.
It's a rather turbulent situation all around.
Yeah, until the big guy on top of the mountain gets, well, less likely to kick the bucket. The fire giants won't exactly be wanting to talk to anyone.
Well, there's something we can do about that. Storm just tilts his gaze down towards Alistair. We happen to know who has his crown.
Yes.
Oh, so it's one of those little sneak thieves. That would explain a lot.
We're gonna steal it.
Oh, send a thief to catch a thief, I suppose. I'll tell you what. Since you've been so kind as to assist me, or should I say assist my sister in getting her lazy ass back to the village, I suppose it's only right that you should do a little job for me.
And what job would that be?
Let's just say I've sent a few messages to the Elder Gloam tribe, informing them of my displeasure if they had captured my sister.
Aye, which they hadn't.
Precisely. So I would like you and your little entourage to head on over there and inform Brokta that I apologize.
I understand. Why send your own messages to be shot?
It's actually pretty
It's
magnanimous
more.
to suffer. It takes a big person to admit that they made a mistake.
Let's just say that my warriors are currently busy. We can't really spare anyone right now, since most of them are out hunting for my sister.
Yeah, is there a way you could recall them swiftly, or should we just tell anyone from your tribe that we meet along the way to head back home?
They'll know when to come back.
Okay.
If you do see them, inform them, but your main priority will be seeing Brokta.
Alright, see Brokta, deliver a message, possibly get beaten up along the way. I think we can handle that.
As a reward, I will help you climb the mountain.
Ah,
That sounds like an easy enough deal.
It is most graceful of you.
indeed.
In Orcish. You don't understand Orcish.
Well, I didn't know you were speaking in Orcish at first, Jeremiah. Come on!
The use of our tongue pleases me.
It has been a long time since I last spoke it.
Is that why it sounds like you're a cat trying to get a hairball?
No, that's Orcish. What I'm talking right now, Squish.
Since you know our language, I'll dispense with telling you the past phrases. An outsider speaking our tongue is rare.
That I have come to know.
Excellent.
Congratulations, Jeremiah. You are the diplomat for this mission.
Oh, we're doomed.
Do you have a map?
A map? I don't believe we do. No, wait.
You do? You
Yeah, we
don't?
do. Yeah, we do. Sorry, I've got several maps. Yep, here we go.
Okay. Get quickly updates so you know where this village is and where the old Gloam village is. Alright. All you gotta do is make your way there. It's gonna be easy. Crossing the rivers never is, but you'll manage it. I'm certain.
Oh, I reckon we can conquer such a challenge.
I take it that none of you require any archery supplies or similar?
Let's see. Nope, I got plenty of arrows. And we got several more in our bag, don't we, Squish?
I think so, yeah.
Let's just see. Oh yeah, no, I'm loaded for arrows.
Okay. Just one more.
I'm more of a hands-on person.
You watch as Gedgan takes out a small pot. She approaches Jeremiah and on his cheek very quickly paints a little symbol.
Jeremiah bows.
That is the symbol of our clan. Brogda will listen to you, so long as you wear that symbol.
It looks like two bears high-fiving. That's cool.
Look at his flag. Two bears fighting over a pineapple. Come to Belarus, where wild animals will steal your fruit.
I hear
Gedgan-
strange voices.
Gedgan quickly sits back down on her throne. I take it that there is no more business to deal with.
Nope, I think that's everything. Are you ready to be escorted, sir? Storm just like mock bows to Jeremiah.
Look, I'm just the voice. I'm not the brains.
Oh, I know. I'm just having a bit of fun. Come on, let's head off. The sooner we're done here, the better.
Jeremiah turns to Gedgan and politely bows and says, "We will return as soon as possible."
I'm glad to hear it.
And he says farewell in Orcish.
She responds in kind.
Well, now we can go.
Be well, cheery kitty wave.
I shall.
Fuck! What did I get myself into?
Apparently you're a diplomat now.
To be fair, Jeremiah,
What was that for?
your kind of diplomacy does suit the orcs better.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because I speak their language, isn't it?
That and you carry a large axe.
True. Well, I guess we're better off. Better to stop this war before it starts.
That would be the idea.
Well, Storm, you got the maps, you got the survival skills.
I'm
lead the
leading the way.
Okay. You begin making your way east, heading for the nearest river crossing. It takes you about 4 or 5 hours to get there. I would like everyone to make me strength checks, please.
Regular
Hold.
strength check.
Hold the phone. Please, everyone. I've had this spell for a while. It was one of the first presents Aqueducts gave me, and I've never had an opportunity to use it. Well, we did, but I forgot about it then. I cast Control Water to part the river.
Okay.
So we can cross.
It's a fairly wide river, and rather than creating a single channel, you kind of more create like a bubble,
Okay.
Alright, Katara.
like a pocket river. So you're basically
Right.
walking along the riverbed in this little circle of dryness, basically.
I can't
Well,
tell you how
so-
long I've been wanting to do this.
It certainly beats fording the river.
Hi, you're welcome.
Thank you.
1, you don't get wrecked. 2, I probably shaved a bit of time off our journey.
Indeed. Plus, at least this doesn't get smudged. And he points to the current marking.
Oh yeah, no, that would have been terrible.
Yeah, some are a little bit difficult when things don't look exactly like they expect.
It takes about 10 minutes for you to cross the river. Once you get across, you can tell from the map you're pretty much just heading more or less straight south. It's going to take you about another 6 hours to get there.
So everyone's probably on the hungry side by now. We didn't really have breakfast, and we've been going at it for a while.
Yes, would you like to set up and take a short rest?
Yes. But I believe I have a ranger thing where it says I can basically get food for everyone. Yeah. So if Storm is given an opportunity to forage for food, he gets twice as much.
Okay, you may have an opportunity. You're in the middle of a wooded area.
Yes. What should I roll to get everyone some quick but filling eats?
I'd say survival.
20! Yes, that is acceptable.
Yeah, you're able to find a decent enough supply of berries and nuts.
There you go, everyone. Just have a nice hearty amount of trail mix here to keep you going throughout the day.
And I would say you've still got a decent amount of cooked triceratops as well.
And a bit of meat too, if nuts and berries aren't your style.
It's always good to have a combination of them.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Bo, eat up! Toss! Snap! Go!
At least now you have better throwing skills than last night. Looked like the nectar got a little bit to you.
A little bit he was sloshed. I'm actually genuinely surprised you don't have a raging hangover this morning.
Oh, it's probably something to do with the Maiden's Grounds, you know, I'm sharper in every way.
I think it has more to do with the...
History check.
Oh, wait!
Squish and Storm.
Oh yeah, if I recall, it doesn't actually give you hangovers.
Yep.
Yeah. You both remember that it doesn't actually give hangovers unless you roll a nat.
Oh yeah, wait, no, it doesn't usually give you hangovers. Rowan wants people to have fun!
Magic booze.
You continue on your way. You make your way a little bit further east towards the lake, and you kind of basically keep going south from there. You enter the main plains, small plains area, and make your way into the forest, where you find the Elderglow village. And I am reusing the same asset.
I was about to say, at least stylistically, they're not very different.
As you approach, there's a couple
You've seen one village, you've seen them all.
There's a couple of guards at the gate just go, "Okay, what are you doing here?"
Well, Jeremiah, this is all you, my friend. Back. Oh, bless him.
These orcs are just glowering at you.
Cat, get your tongue, Jeremiah.
There is no cat.
Still make this thing up!
Jeremiah straightens himself up and greets the guards in Orcish and explains in rough terms why they're here.
You watch as one of their eyebrows raised before one of them just indicates to his comrade to keep you waiting there for a second as he walks off into a basically what's like a little guardhouse sort of thing. A couple of minutes pass and a third orc comes out and goes, "Isn't very often we get outsiders here."
In Orcish, I did not expect to have the opportunity to speak the language and bring friends.
You watch as he kind of grips your chin and examines a mark on your cheek. "Oh, I see. Alright, I'll take you to the boss."
Thanks.
He basically kind of marches you through the village. You can see, again, it's quite a peaceful little village. You can hear a couple of warriors training in the background, but for the most part, people are just doing their day-to-day stuff.
This is either
As
going
you
really well or about to go really bad.
Don't put that much pressure on me, Squish.
Jeremiah, roll me a history check.
Oh, history. One of my greatest non-skills. Phew.
You
To 16.
remember from the time spent with orcs that they tend, when they're not at war, they tend to be practicing for war.
Well, they're keeping the weapons and they're keeping their minds and the swords sharp.
Was that okay? It was definitely said in common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, considering where we are, that's a wise choice of action.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is.
You know what? Since there's a moment of calm, Storm's going to quickly awaken mind a message to Jeremiah. You're doing great, my friend. Just keep calm, be firm, but don't throw your weight around unless you have to. You're doing great.
Jeremiah,
You can hear Jeremiah breathe out loudly.
I would like another history check, please.
You're just waiting for me to roll in that one, don't you?
No.
That'll be a 19.
You know that you have to mind your manners, but the orcs tend to respect you more if you basically meet them on their level, so to speak.
Well, I'm already halfway there. After all, I speak the language.
They appreciate warriors and people who show strength rather than people who decide. Basically, if someone came up to them groveling, they would not be happy. Whereas if someone not so much kicked in the door, but certainly announced themselves with confidence, they would respect that.
Oh, yeah.
As you're brought to what you presume to be a chieftain's hut, you're once again showed in. And it looks surprisingly very similar to Gedgen's hut.
Huh. Interior designer. That's a statement by the player.
Sat upon the throne, you see another large orcish woman. And I just need to find the thing. Where are you?
Seph has so much art for this place.
There we go.
You have no idea how stressed out the player is right now.
I do, actually.
As you walk in, you notice this large orcish woman sat on the throne, her arms crossed. She's kind of reclining back in a little board. As the orc that was guiding you here sort of steps to one side and goes, "Hey, boss, I got messages from the Greengrow tribe." He kind of nudges you to step forward.
Aye, that he does. All of that, and Jeremiah speaks in Orcish right now. Get can send us to bring you a message. Name's Jeremiah, by the way.
You speak our tongue. That shows respect.
Well,
I like that. She kind of sits up properly. My name is Broadcast Shaleskin. I am the chieftain of the Eldergloam tribe. So tell me what trouble my daughter is stirring up now.
Looks like she thought you'd taken your other daughter.
Yeah, she was bleeding on about that.
Yeah.
Claire is a free spirit. She enjoys her hunt.
Yeah, she'd been stuck in the woods for a bit. So, things happened. And she'd been... Your daughter thought, I guess Mom took her. But she didn't put it that way, but...
Well, I'm glad to see that she saw sense at last.
Yeah, I mean, after all, it's hard to believe that Mother took her when we bring the daughter back, sister, rather.
Gedgun has wanted to have a, shall we say, intimate discussion with her dear old mother for quite some time.
Well, it's just...
As she says that, you notice she pats the pommel of the maul on her back.
Well, but now is not the time for fighting, after all. At least not one another.
No, not quite. There is plans in motion, but that is for another time.
Indeed. It's not the time for war yet.
War? You misunderstand us.
Oh, yes, possibly.
Basically, every year or so, each village chooses 5 warriors. We meet in an independent location. And we test one another.
Ah, the test of might, yes, I know it.
Because there are only 2 orc tribes on this island, it's the best way to ensure that we don't get complicated with our family tree.
I can see that.
Gedgan was fortunate enough to win when she came to the tournament. And then her husband died and she ended up becoming chief. Claire having to accompany her. But I am grateful to you for relaying my daughter's message.
Yes, and any of her warriors that might stumble across your village. It's probably a better idea to send them back than to skewer them. It's a little bit of a waste.
Precisely. That's a plan. Now, I trust you have no hurry to leave this village.
Well, there's a lot of things that need to be done. After all, There's another storm brewing up on the spire.
Yes, I'm well aware. However, I doubt you would return to Greenglow before nightfall.
That is rather unlikely, yes.
Then consider this my way of expressing my gratitude. I grant you the hospitality of our village.
Let me just translate that into common. They unfortunately don't share the language. And Jeremiah translates into common that we're invited at least for the night.
Oh, fantastic. That's great, because I can only do that trick with the water once a day. It'll make our return trip smoother if I can rest up before we head on our travels once more. So yes, I believe we graciously accept.
Okay. Gedgen orders one of her attendants to come over, says a few things in Orcish, which basically account to get some rooms ready and get stuff ready, sorted out, basically.
Yay, rooms! Private rooms!
Who said anything about private?
I'm assuming, because Storm wants to make whoopee.
Well, Storm, you know how it works with orcs, right?
Oh, Jeremiah, you're presuming I would tell you that I want to bang my wife.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Families some of the families share a common room.
The player sees your point, but the player wants to let you know that conversation didn't happen.
All right. Well then.
And I think that is a good place to end it there for this week.
Oh, fantastic.
All right.
But yeah, Storm does want to make Whoopi or Squish.
So,
That is
play
canon.
the game. Play the game.
Storm actually thinking of the.
Didn't get us killed.
I would say it's a toss-up between Storm and Jeremiah.
I would actually put it to Storm because that was some quick thinking that saved about half an hour at the very least.
What quick thinking are you talking about?
The quick thinking of, you know what? I can just push the water to the side and walk.
Ah, yes! I'd be like... really waiting for a chance to use that spell.
That's fair. Squish rolled a 5 in her strength save, so Squish was probably going to end up going down the river.
Yeah, see, and that just won't do, will it?
Nope.
Fail of the game.
There wasn't really a massive fail, to be honest.
Me not
falling
drinking
asleep.
everyone while they were asleep.
Okay, any thoughts, theories, or ideas?
Oh, I know what fail the game was. Lizzie's per computer giving out.
Yeah.
Yes, we are missing Lizzie already. We hope she will be back with us as soon as possible.
Alright. I'm happy enough for that. So next week
Okay.
we get to go and speak to the fire giants.
Hell yeah!
Yes. So, going down the list, it is a good night from Kork,
Good night, everyone. Or as they say when they're orcs, good night.
a good night from Icy,
Good night, everyone.
a good night from Jurnis,
Good night, everyone.
a good night from Kubar,
Everybody.
a good night from Marja,
Good night.
and a good night from me. Good night.
Night.